What's up, you guys? It's Audrey, and today I'm going to be sharing my experience of eating vegan for a week. For the past week, I have been eating vegan. Now, before this video even starts, I want to give a little disclaimer. I know that living a vegan lifestyle and eating vegan are different, and I was in no way trying to say that I was living a vegan lifestyle. I was just eating mostly plant-based, eating like a vegan would eat to my knowledge. And I did my best to research and know what I was getting myself into so I could do it to the best of my abilities. Of course, as expected, I made a couple mistakes. I've never tried this before. I was just jumping into it, so I did the best I could. If you have any helpful advice, please leave it in the comments, but don't tear me apart because I really did my best, okay? First, I want to get into what made me even decide to go vegan for a week. I have, I think, about 5 reasons why I decided to start eating vegan for a week. Okay, so first off, I feel like the most obvious one is I love animals. I feel like that's kind of a reason that anybody's vegan is for the animals. I love animals. That's not like the main reason I decided to try it out, like in any way, but it is like one of those helpful side effects, you could say, is helping the animals. So that's one of the reasons. Okay, second reason, which probably I would say is like 80% of why I decided to do this, and that is for the environmental benefits. And if you guys aren't aware, going vegan or vegetarian, it really does help the environment. It reduces your carbon footprint like a ton. I'm actually taking a nutrition class in college, so I've been learning a lot about it. And it just really kind of pushed me to make the decision, because learning about it and learning about the effect it can have and how beneficial it is, I was like, shoot, why not then? I feel like a lot of people don't know that it actually helps the environment, and I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of that. So if you didn't know, now you know. And apparently someone's coming to check my furnace out. So if you hear that in the other room, I'm so sorry. And he's also gonna hear me talking about how I tried to eat vegan for a week, and he's gonna think I'm crazy, but you know, that's fine. Third reason is health benefits. I'm sure we all expected this one as well. When you go vegan, you are cutting out a ton of food options, which doesn't mean that you won't have anything to eat, which is kind of like what I feel like most people think, but no, that's wrong. But you are cutting out stuff like fruit snacks, gummy bears, cheesecake, ice cream, all of that stuff. And there are vegan options to replace those things, but they are a lot harder to get your hands on. And just because of what's missing in them, they tend to be on the healthier side. I'm not saying that they're healthy, but they tend to be on the healthier side, maybe with less calories and stuff like that. And there's just been so much research done on how not eating animal products reduces inflammation. It helps with like diseases and problems that you can have. There's just a lot of health benefits. I did not do it to lose weight or because I thought it would help me lose weight. I just like being able to know I have a certain way of eating. It helps me like really think a little bit more about what I'm eating, instead of just being like, oh, I'm trying to eat healthy, and then you end up like convincing yourself that this junk food's healthy because X or Y reason, and it's all downhill from there. So when I set like something like this for myself, it just helps me continue on with it a little bit better. Okay, fourth reason is I'm not necessarily lactose intolerant by any means, but I do think I'm lactose sensitive. So I already don't drink milk. I had already kind of replaced milk products with milk alternatives as much as I could. I just already wasn't consuming that much dairy besides ice cream. I freaking love ice cream, but you know what? Vegan ice cream is just as good. So I come from a family that just doesn't eat a lot of meat in the first place. We never really had meat for dinner or anything. Maybe meatballs or like fish here and there, but it's just, I don't really eat meat that much either. So I figured it wouldn't be too hard of a jump to try it out if I'm already not eating meat and not really eating dairy. And those are kind of two of the major things that you cut out when you are eating vegan. So I figured it would not be as harsh of a change. And then my fifth reason is just to try it out, because I've been thinking about it for such a long time. always have kind of had doubts about it. I've always thought that it would be too hard, that I would just give up and not be able to do it. But that is not true, and I recommend that if you've been thinking about it, to just try it out for like a week like I did. And that doesn't mean that you have to like force yourself to stick to it for the rest of your life. Like, give it a try for a week and see how you feel, and then you can decide if you want to keep doing it or not. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how I went about starting my week of being vegan. First things first, I knew that I wasn't just going to like say, oh, I'm vegan now and go from there. I knew that was not going to work. So I decided to go grocery shopping, and I went to my favorite place on earth now, which is Trader Joe's. I'm sure all of you guys have heard of it. I always thought that Trader Joe's was like super expensive, like Whole Foods, and that is not the case. Almost everything that I bought was like $2 or cheaper, which is insane considering they were all vegan options and healthy foods. So when people say that eating expensive is healthy, when people say that eating healthy is expensive, they haven't been to Trader Joe's. Yep, I went grocery shopping, I picked everything out, but before I went grocery shopping, of course, I came up with a grocery list. How I did that was I picked out 2 meals for each time of the day that I knew I liked and that I knew I would be able to eat and make without an issue. For each meal, I picked 2 options. 1, to make sure there was some variety and I wouldn't be eating the exact same thing every single day. And 2, one of the options was a quick and time-efficient meal just in case I was running late or I didn't have a lot of time to make my food. Then I wouldn't have an excuse to not make it and just go pick something up at the store. And the second one was a meal that took a little bit more time to prepare, and if I just had time to really sit down and cook, then I could make that choice. So that is why I picked 2 options for each meal, which I highly recommend if you're going to do something like this, because eating the same thing every day gets so boring. And then from those 6 meals that I decided on, I wrote down all the ingredients that I would need for each one. Keep in mind, I kept to like really simple meal ideas. I'm a very picky eater, so I'm usually not eating like crazy meals. My grocery list wasn't too extensive, which was good because I don't have a lot of money. And I even picked out some things that looked really good that I didn't even have on my list, like these vegan oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I highly recommend trying those if you guys haven't tried them. I went grocery shopping on Sunday, so technically I started Sunday evening, Monday morning, more like. Let me show you really fast all of the meal options that I picked out, if you guys are looking for inspiration or just curious to see what I did eat. So breakfast option number 1 was protein banana nut pancakes with pea protein, so they were vegan. I cut up bananas to put on top, and I also put vegan chocolate chips in the pancakes just to make them taste a little bit more sweet. I topped that off with just a little bit of maple syrup, and on the side I had strawberries and applesauce, and I always sprinkle cinnamon over my applesauce. I think it just makes it taste a lot better, and cinnamon has good health benefits. I also would have a small cup of coffee with some almond milk creamer, and that was breakfast number 1. Surprisingly, I thought that this would be the breakfast that would take longer, but since I made a lot at once, it was really easy to just pull them out of the fridge, heat them up, and then have breakfast. Okay, breakfast number 2, I had Cheerios, which I don't know if you guys know this, probably some of you hardcore vegans out there are gonna crucify me for this. Apparently, Cheerios are not vegan because they add the vitamin B3, which comes from sheep. Apparently, I am so sorry, I did not know this until I googled it later. I really tried my hardest. Who knew Cheerios weren't vegan? Like, they weren't even Honey Nut Cheerios, they were just plain Cheerios. I don't know. I'm really sorry, sheep. I'm really sorry. So I had Cheerios with banana slices and almond milk. Then on the side I had raspberries, and then I also again had applesauce with cinnamon, and then again I also had some coffee. And then for lunch, the first option I picked was a PB&J with carrots and an apple and one vegan oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. So this was a super easy lunch to make the night before and bring to school with me or bring to work with me. It was so simple, so easy to just throw together. Okay, second food option for lunch was ants on a log. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I don't know if this is just something my family made up, but ants on a log is basically celery with almond butter and raisins. And if you like put the almond butter on the celery and then put the raisins on, it looks like ants on a log, so hence the name ants on a log. You feeling me? I prefer to just dip my celery in the almond butter and stick the raisins on after because it takes less time and I'm really lazy. And then with that, I would have a pear and a rice cake. Then the two dinner options are number one, whole wheat spaghetti with mixed veggies on the side. So I love spaghetti, it's great, and I love mixed veggies, so perfect dinner. Spaghetti, vegan, to my knowledge. I mean, as long as you're not using like meat sauce or anything, I think you're good. Second meal option for dinner was a bean, cheese, and rice burrito. And don't worry, it was a vegan substitute for cheese. It was not real cheese. I'm not that stupid, okay? Let's move past the Cheerio incident already, okay? It's already in the past, you know, I apologize. I'm sorry. And then with the burrito, I had edamame, which is my absolute favorite snack. For some reason, it's just been like my favorite snack since I was tiny. I love edamame, it's so good. If you haven't tried it, I recommend it. And that would be my dinner if I had a little bit more time to compile my burrito how I like. I did put some taco sauce on that to add a little bit more flavor because it was a bit bland. That is what I ate for meals, but let me share a couple of snacks that I ate because I don't just eat 3 meals and call it good. I am a very hungry person. One of these snacks I ate almost every single day was a protein smoothie. So in this protein smoothie, I put in a lot of frozen strawberries, 1 banana, and almond milk. And then I also have this protein powder, which comes from pea protein. So it's vegan protein powder and it's vanilla. And when I mix it all together, oh my gosh, it literally tastes like ice cream. Like it tastes like a milkshake and it's so good. And it honestly feels like a treat, even though it's not really a treat. And it's a good way to get some extra protein in for the day. Okay, another snack that I had, I didn't film me making this one, but oh my gosh, you have to try this. Even if you're not vegan, please try this. It's cut up bananas and strawberries with almond milk whipped cream on top. Oh my gosh, I love that snack. It's so good and not a ton of calories either, unless you really load up on the whipped cream, which I'm guilty of, so. And I also did try out some vegan ice cream during the week. I got a chocolate cookies and cream cashew milk based ice cream and it was very good. So all of these are great snacks and the ice cream and the protein smoothie have a lot of protein in them because as a vegan, it is very hard to get protein. So now that you guys have an idea of what I ate every single day, now I will get into how I felt and if I noticed any effects right away or over time. So one of the effects that I did notice, and I don't think this is specifically from the food I was eating, but I definitely woke up a lot easier in the mornings. I think this attributes a lot to the fact that I had meals that I knew I loved and I was excited to make and eat so that I would get out of bed and not have to freak out and be like, oh my gosh, what I'm gonna make, and then run out of time because I didn't have it planned out. Having 2 meal choices every morning, I can wake up and say, I'd rather have this, I'd rather have this, I'd rather kind of mix them together and choose from that. It was super nice and really just helped me get out of bed. I used to not eat breakfast, not really for any reason other than I would rather sleep all the way up until I had to leave for work or whatever I had that day, and I just wouldn't have time for breakfast. So having these meals to eat in the morning was just so nice. It really motivated me to get out of bed, and Honestly, how you start your mornings really does affect the rest of the day, so I recommend having a nice breakfast that you can wake up to and be excited to make and kind of start your day on the right foot. So overall, I did feel happier. I feel like I've just been more positive, I've had more energy, and knowing that you're giving your body like good foods to fuel it kind of just makes you feel good in general. It just makes you happy knowing that you're treating yourself good, because you should be all the time, and I know that sometimes we don't. Junk food may be good for the soul, but it's not as good for your body. So it was just nice knowing that every day I was eating fruits and vegetables, and I knew that I was doing good stuff for me. That brings me to my next point, which is, do I plan on continuing to eat vegan in the future? And the answer to that is yes. As of now, I do plan on trying to maintain a vegan diet for as long as possible. I really love how it makes me feel, and I don't know, the benefits are just so good all around, so I don't see any reason not to. Overall, it was a great experience. I didn't mess up one time, I didn't slip up once, which is so surprising. I did not have that much faith in myself, so I probably should have, because I did it. Yeah, I really hope that I'm gonna be able to stick to this for a long time. I'm not gonna be like crazy insane about it. Like, if I am at a restaurant and I really want some mac and cheese, probably gonna have that mac and cheese. Let me know if you have any video requests for me to do in the future. I would be more than happy to do them. But yep, that's all for this one. Feel free to check out some other videos on my channel. Check out the links in the description. I post every Tuesday and Friday, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!